Hello friends, welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to look at social studies. Under social studies we have a topic called Introduction to Social Studies. Introduction to Social Studies. The subtopic here for today is Social Studies. Social Studies is our subtopic for today. Alright, So we are going to answer the first question, which is what is social studies? What is social studies? Now, social studies is the subject that studies the past, human beings, and the earth. It is the subject that studies the past, human beings, and the earth. Wow. From the definition, I think it is easy to tell that social studies is made up of three subjects, or it comprises of three components, which are civic education, history, and geography. Okay, so when we talk about social studies being the study of the past, we are simply referring it to the study of history or the components of history. Then when we say the study of human beings, we are simply referring to it to civic or civics in short. Then lastly, when we say it is the study of the earth, we are referring it to the study of the geography components, so to say. All right. Having looked at that, we also need to know how we can learn social studies. How can we learn social studies? Now, social studies can be learned in so many ways. However, today we are going to look at least 6 ways on how we can learn social studies. The first one is by reading newspapers, books, novels, and magazines. There are a lot of books that have been written by so many people who lived long time ago. There are newspapers that happened. A newspaper, as we know, is a document that has got new things that are written in it. Now, there are some papers that may have been written a long time ago, having information about something that happened in the past. And we have novels that were written a long time ago, as well as magazines. So when you look at these things, when you read them, when you check in these books, you discover a lot of things that will be of help to you today. And that is what we call learning. That is one way we can learn social studies. And the second one is, of course, by listening to the radio and television. Well, this is a common thing that happens near each and every day. We play music, we listen, we watch the television near each and every day. Sometimes we don't realize that we are learning social studies. However, through these things, because there are a lot of programs that are brought on television, there are a lot of presenters that come on television trying to give us some historical and what is happening, the news, the new things that are actually happening and that were happening. So through these things, we also learn social studies. Coming to the third point, we are saying we can learn social studies by reading news on the internet. Now, that is the easiest way in which, especially in our day, in today's life, that one can learn history or social studies, because it is easy. The moment you just get into the, you switch on your phone, you switch on your laptop, you go on social media, you are going to find a lot of new things that are happening based in civics, history, and geography. There are a lot and vast of them. So we learn by reading news on the internet. Coming to the fourth one, we are saying by visiting historical sites such as museum. We have a lot of historical sites. For instance, we have Ingombe Ilede, we have a museum in Choma, we have a museum in Livingstone, we have a lot of things that are happening, a lot of places that are of history, especially to us today who are living in the modern life. So by visiting such places, we learn social studies. The fifth one is by learning in class. This is also a common one. As long as one is able to attend classes, uh, each and everyone will be able to learn social studies. Social studies is taught nearly each and every day in each and every level or each and every class that one goes to, especially from grade 1 to grade 12. So by being in class, one can learn social studies. Then from there, the last one, which is the sixth one, we are saying social studies can also be learned by studying different pictures and maps. So, some pictures were drawn a long time ago, and when one tries to study these pictures, it may be easy for them to learn about history, to learn about civic education and geography. Of course, using maps as well can help us learn social studies. So we're saying the last one is by studying pictures and maps. All right, then from there, let's jump a little bit to why do we learn social studies? Basically, here what we find is, we are looking at the three components, and when you look at the three components, you discover that there is a purpose as to why you need to learn each and every component that is found in these social studies. For instance, we are saying the first one we learn in order for us to learn about the past. That is the historical part of social studies. So you can only learn about the past when you have studied or when you have learned social studies. Without social studies, it is very difficult for one to understand what happened in the past and to understand what is happening today, and probably be able to predict what might happen tomorrow. Okay, so that is about we learn to learn about the past. That is the historical aspect. Then when we go to the geographical aspect, we are saying we learn in order to learn about the earth. You cannot learn about the earth, you cannot understand the humidity, the attitudes, you cannot understand the way, the shape of the earth if one does not learn social studies. Hence, the need to learn about social studies. So when you learn social studies, you discover that you're going to learn about the earth. Then from there, we are going to move to civic education. Now, civic education, we are saying, we learn social studies in order for one to learn about civic education. Now, if you're learning civic education, it means you're going to include elections, citizenships, political parties, and systems of governance, and many other things. So when you learn about elections, when you learn about citizenship, when you learn about political parties, when you learn about systems of governance, in short, what you are looking at is civic education, and all these are engulfed under social studies. So we learn social studies in order for us to know and understand the political systems and governance system. And then lastly, we can say we learn in order to learn about how life began on earth. It is something that is so difficult to understand, where human beings have come from, where life began. So in short, when you learn social studies, it will be very easy for one to understand how life began and where it began from on earth. That is all we had today. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson. Otherwise, please don't forget to press the like button, as well as subscribing, so that each and every time we are going to bring new lessons, you'll be able to learn and interact. Thank you so much. Have a good